Alhamdulillah.
Wake, wake. Quack, quack, wake, wake. Which one? Quack, quack or wake, wake? This was supposed to be your presentation, but I felt it becoming an insult to talk to you about volunteers. Because you are the people who are creating initiatives. And you are the people who are very zealous, energetic, powerful, and have vision. So I scrapped my presentation because it's not right to talk to somebody like you about volunteering. Is that right? And I squeak, what do you call it? Can you read this one? Are you Arab? This is Arab.
Shots fired.
All right. Oh man. No Arab? Oh, انت عربي. اديله واحد. ما هما؟ طيب. ما هي؟
Arabic test.
التي. طيب, okay. That means that actually we are on the same boat. I don't know how to speak English and you don't know how to speak Arabic. This is the fun. So, I will start with asking some questions. You have all your pen and paper, and I was in Turkey a few weeks ago, and some young girl was talking about right loop or left loop of my brain. When I finish my talk today, you have to tell me, am I one of the people who have the right loop, right? Or the left loop? Okay. Yeah. Are you medical? Yeah. Oh, I used to be a doctor as well.
How did you know?
Because you have glasses and you look like me. Even your glasses look like my glasses. Okay, now talk about my right. At the end of the talk, tell me how many of you will think that I'm right loop, or left loop, or no loop.
Middle loop.
Because my thesis here was on spinal bifida, neural tube difference. Anyway, second question is, this for you. Are you a group of intelligent or stupid? Educated or ignorant? Okay? Aware or sleeping beauties? Okay? Crazy or wise? And what's your role in life? This is for you to answer at the end of my presentation. I'm not going to give you a speech like sweet nothing. And I'm not going to ask you to celebrate achievement you have not been a part of it. So don't come and tell me the great Sahaba, or the great Khalifa, or the great history of Islam. Tell me what are you doing and what you intend to do. Don't be nostalgic. Okay? The nostalgic people have no loops, because they always live in the past. They never realize the enormity of the problems surrounding them at the time being, not to say that they cannot see the future. I have not started my talk yet. So, you have to answer this question and tell me later on. The third question for us now, what is the speed of life surrounding us? What is your brains? You are educated. You think and you think that you are the future. Okay? The speed of life surrounding us. And if the speed of life faster than the speed of time, and why? You answer. I said I'm not going to give you a talk to seduce you or to let you to relax, to massage your spirit, not on my talks. You answer the question. Who can start? Brainy, talk to the stupid one. I am the stupid one. Brainy, what's the speed of life? And is it faster than the speed of time or not? Because the volunteers like yourself who would like to make the change are change makers. And change makers beat and be ahead of the time. Change maker never were behind the time or only living the time. They create the future for the people who are coming, the generation to follow. So, who going to answer? Can I have a sip? It's halal? It's not whiskey? Oh no. There's halal whiskey in heaven. When you go to heaven, there's halal champagne. Halal beer? Halal lager? Who's from Glasgow? Yeah. Answer. Don't be shy. You want to say something? Yeah, go on. You want to come there and stand next to me? Okay. Stand up and talk. Please. Come, stand up. You are a leader. Raise your voice, raise your head, talk to the public. And compete with her for next year's presidency. She has to be out of the office next year.
I'm fine.
But she has to take the place. Okay. Yeah, go on.
I'm just thinking about in terms of time and life.
Yeah.
We are alive and we're living within a time frame.
Very good.
So how can life be faster than time?
Very good.
But then it's supposed to be really philosophical and say the opposite. I don't have an answer, it's just a thought.
Neither do I.
They're both.
Neither do I. I don't have an answer. But this thought came to me because I'm coming to talk to you. When you talk to the change makers, you have to let them think, even if you don't have the answer. So stand up. You have a loud voice. Yeah, guys, talk to the public.
So one thing I was thinking about right now is that I guess the measurement of life is time. And as in, when you define life, it's moments and events that happen in your lifetime, for example, childhood, adulthood, etc. So the real question that we should be asking, therefore, is how quick is time and how quick does time go by? And I guess one good way of actually thinking about time is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about time in Surah Al-Asr, when he uses the word Al-Asr, most of us have heard Imam Ali Khan's tafsir on Surah Al-Asr, and that word, how it comes from the word asir, which in Arabic means juice, and how juice is squeezed out from a fruit. Likewise, that is how time is, time is running out from us. So that's the question that I think we should probably ask ourselves, that how quick is time and how much do we value time in order to actually value our lives?
Thank you. Very good. See, her answer is right. His answer is right. My question is wrong. Because I'm the wrong man. Okay. But you have to answer it. The challenge, if you have got the stupid and wrong question, you have to answer it. And this is the challenge. If you want to become a change maker, you have to meet the challenge and get a result out of it. And overtake the challenge, win the challenge, and win the gold medal. Any other answer? Yes, sir. Stand up, please.
So, time is a construct. Time is, we perceive time. Time doesn't, I'm a physics student, so time isn't it's not something static or something that physically exists in a very absolute way. So, nowadays people say time passes by so quickly, not like life before, but that's just what we think. We have an expectation of how much we feel time, how much time passes and what feeling associated with it is. So the speed of life is just the speed of life is our experience of how time has passed versus the speed of time, which is what we think time should be, but actually those are two sides of the same coin. And think we should focus less about the speed of time and more like what we do with it.
Thank you. So from philosophy to social to physics. 3 different answers, but all are direct. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'll carry on talking. Is that right? Okay, anybody else want to answer these questions before we move to the other ones? More stupid questions. Today we talk about stupid questions and the right loop, or the left loop, or the no loop. If I become a no loop, you tell me lol, because there's many people with no loops. Govern countries as well. Okay, any other answer? No? Yes, sister. Stand up, please. Shout to me, or shout at me.
I think they're the same. I think that they're the same. Speed of life and speed of time. Life is made up of time, so technically they're the same.
They're technically the same. Okay. Thank you. Any other answer? So we can move to question. Yes? Yes. Come on, stand up, please.
I think you can take into account what you consider life as. So if you consider life as just this life now, well then that's like around 80 years. But if you take into account the afterlife, which is eternal and time doesn't really exist because it's not a limited amount of time, that would be longer. As in time only went out in this world and not in
So
the
can you say
afterlife.
it again, because my intelligence is
Like
is
time only exists in this world. Whereas
Yeah.
in the afterlife, there's no time, there's no idea of time because
very
it's
good.
eternal.
Very
So,
good.
yeah, that's basically it.
Spiritual. See how many answers? If you collect these, you know the diversity of the ability of the people to think in this room. Because each one of you might have a different answer for the same question. All right. Second question, number 5. If the speed of life surrounding us is so fast, we cannot keep with it, what's our role? You turned your face again away from me. If we have a very fast life, which is difficult to catch, what's our role then? Okay? Do nothing? You want to say something? Go on. Stand up, please. Speak loud.
Well, if we perceive time going too fast, we should just keep our life organized. It's our lack of organization and order in our life that causes us to have to chase after life and chase what we have to do next. If we have order and organization now, we can predict things in the future, and then that way we can be ahead of time.
Very good. So organization, what you are doing in forces, to organize. Nothing is done haphazardly. Every system is creating for life is organized by the Creator, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He is coordinating all the different systems which keep life intact. Whether it's in China, whether it's in South Africa, whether it's in this planet or different planets. The word of organization. Let me ask the other question, because I'm a stupid man, asking this kind of very simple, low intellect question. Get rid of him. I see, look at this. This was me, I don't know, in the 90s. Okay? What's behind me? Why? Why it's behind me? Sorry? Stand up, please. Why is behind me?
You're a traveler.
Traveler. Anybody else? Yes?
Did you want it to be behind you, or was it someone just came across and took
I
it?
said why. Don't answer my question with a question, sir.
Ambitions to conquer or
Ambition to, I don't know what may conquer me.
explore?
Ambition to explore, yes?
You just haven't sat in front of the map.
Sorry, I used to have to.
You just happen to stand in front of it, just by chance.
But no, this is my desk.
Oh, your desk.
My desk was here. You see?
Right.
You see it? This is my desk, and this is my seat, and this is my office. Okay. Yes, brother.
If it was in front of you,
Sorry?
if it was in front of you, you wouldn't be able to see you.
Anybody else? Yes. Stand up, please.
It represents interconnectedness and also.
And to represent what?
Interconnectedness.
Connectedness.
Yeah, and also you can also represent like globalization.
Globalization,
and
yes.
how like as humans, no matter where we came from, we're all the same.
Very good,
That,
very
I
good.
don't know.
I was actually going to say this. I think it's your thinking is global. You want your message to be global, and that's why.
Okay. Anybody else? Before we move to the other questions? Yes, brothers, sisters? Okay. Because, what do you call it? Sky is not our limit. This was my proverb. Sky is our beginning, not our limit. Okay? And the planet is something that we live on.
I cannot navigate to that.
Can you stand up and say what she said? Yes, please. Tell them, please. Loud voice, loud voice.
She said I didn't quite get that.
Why she didn't get that?
It's too much for them.
Huh?
It's too much.
Too much for her.
Yeah.
Any
the
other
phone, for
question?
the
Any other answer? So she didn't get it. Sky is not our limit. Because the people who look for heaven should look at the sky as one creation of God that they have to pass it to something else. The test is on earth. Okay? To inhabit, to reconstruct, to discover, to save, to build. Then from this platform, you look at globe behind you or before you or the galaxies of God. And this is the meaning of how to be a Muslim. How to be a Muslim is not only to stick to your village, to your avenue, to your ghettos. All the laws in Europe and America have been made tougher and difficult because of what? Because we did not want to move from our ghettos. We are ghetto lovers. That's why the law. You love me? I'm a ghetto. We are ghetto lovers. And then we complain. If we are truly Muslims, we should look at the galaxies of God, the planets, and we relate ourselves to them because we should be the discoverer. Is that right? Somebody called the discoverer, to discover? To go to this beyond the imagination of others. But if we claim that we are the best ummah, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس, the best ummah is not the ummah who can regurgitate the text of the holy book, but who can construct life for humanity and change the life for the betterment of humanity and discover the wealth of humanity for humanity. This is the best nation based on the true belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alright, if the speed of life is faster than us, option one, sit and do nothing. Who can agree that we sit and do nothing? Raise your hand. If we sit and do nothing.
Samir.
Ah, I'm the only one, huh? So all of you agree that you are not going to sit and do nothing. Fine? Clear? Miss President? Thank you. The second one, we get into the system very crowded, very difficult, and we live into it like anybody else. Who can agree to do that? If you don't agree, stand and tell me. If you agree, stand and tell me. Sorry, staff. Yeah. Live in the system and be like anybody else and go with the flow. Well, yes, please.
Well, the reason why I disagree is because I think that we shouldn't just be, because it is a tough job to use trying to keep up with the world and the speed of life. But it's important for us to be forward-thinking people, to be thinking ahead in terms of next generations for people after us. Like, for example, our grandfathers, when they came to this country, they were thinking about us, which is why they built many massages and why we have the institutions that are in place right now. Likewise, we should be thinking that far ahead as well. So we shouldn't just be thinking to today and tomorrow, but rather for the next 10 years and 20 years. So we should be ahead of everyone else.
Thank you. Anybody else? Sisters? You have to compete with those people, those boys, and be ahead of them. Yeah. Go on. Any other answer? Yes. You know, let me tell you something. The Arabic language has been there for Quran. We learn Arabic to understand the depth of the knowledge of Quran. I heard this from Sheikh Sha'rawi. I'm not sure if some Arabs of you know who is Sheikh Sha'rawi, late Sha'rawi, rahmatullah alayh, was one of the great scholars from Egypt. He said he mastered the Arabic language. He was one of the top in that metaphor and everything. And when you listen to his explanation, you find that all the literacy of Arabic language is the drive of his explanation of Quran. So the more you know Arabic, the more you understand Islam. You see, that's why Allah sent to the arrogant Arab at that time a book by their own language, which they cannot write a verse of it. Is it a challenge? Challenge. You people are very arrogant in the Arabian Peninsula, okay, fine, but you are backward. This is the book. With your language, go for it. They fail. The people who mastered the Arabic language 1400 years ago. How about the people now who can say ba? Even the qualified people from Egypt and others, they don't know how to speak Arabic. I'm not complaining about you. But see, very low standard of university qualified Arabs who can speak Arabic. Coming back. Anybody else, sister side, to answer the question? Yes, brother.
Stand up.
Yes, stand up. Because we have got BBC and ITV.
We shouldn't be constrained by the world around us in terms of the good that we should be doing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put us on this earth for the sole reason of doing good. To benefit and to further humanity. So the systems around us, all of this, although we are restrained by it on the short term, we shouldn't see it as something that we'll always be restrained by. We should always try to perceive it as something that we can, regardless of what I'm talking about.
Thank you. See, anybody else? Yes.
Yeah, I think your question about just going with the flow, I would disagree because for similar reasons, but specifically because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that and I think to just go with the flow loses, it means that we've lost our direction, and it's easy to just do things and lose sight of why we're doing it and why we're here. And I suppose as Muslims, to sit around and do nothing is not an option because that's not why we're here. But to also just do what everyone else is doing is not an option either because we are not sheep. And so we shouldn't act like sheep. We should act like intelligent Muslims, finding new ways to basically act with Allah, to worship Allah, whether it's the salah and the ordinary ibadat, or it's in different ways,
Thank you. You know what he said at the beginning? This is a practical example of what you said and what the brother said. My father, who came here 50, 60 years ago, did not speak English, was a laborer. Okay? But his vision was to build the community for you, and for you, and for the people who are coming from overseas to live in this country. Uneducated, but has the heart, and the vision, and the spirit. Education is not a university degree. Education is a life degree. That's why we keep learning day in and day out till we die. And to know the knowledge, Musa alayhi salam, once upon a time, he said that he thought that he was the most knowledgeable. That's why Allah sent him Al-Khidr alayhi salam to teach him some knowledge that Musa does not have, which is a knowledge straight from Allah. When he made the hole in the ship, when he on the boat, when he killed the boy, and when actually he built the falling wall for these orphans. The knowledge of this was not in Moses, in spite of the fact that he is the most knowledgeable. He thought that he is the most knowledgeable. The knowledge is something that you keep seeking day in and day out. Yes, sister. Stand up, please, because the camera is looking at you.
Great, okay. I think a big issue in regards to the time aspect is that because we feel like it's going, or we perceive it to be going so quickly, and people have these like mental lists of like, I need to do this, 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 and this before I die, or before whatever, they feel like it's too much and it becomes overwhelming if they're not like on track with their plans, I guess, or things they want to accomplish. But like the brother was saying, it's not just for us, it's not just for your life, like what you do impacts people that go later on down the line. So I think the point is to be always striving anyway, and like it doesn't matter if you don't get to exactly where you've achieved this, and this, you've made progress, and because that progress will be picked up by someone else and then passed along, so it's important to just keep striving anyway.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, sister? At the back, Brother Abdurrahman.
I believe you shouldn't be worried about the end because it's too. But
I can't hear you.
I believe you shouldn't be worried about the end because it's the end in Hadith too. But I think that the speed of life is something that should give us the drive and the passion to act on our ideas today. So when you have, those ideas that sometimes just formulate in your mind, you shouldn't just wait until tomorrow. You should plant those seeds now, and hopefully that will help everyone betterment and self-development as well.
Thank you. So, move to the other. Yes, you want to sit? No? Yeah, no. Okay. So you agree that you do not sit and do nothing and go with the flow. Okay. Second point is option. Do you want to be ahead of time? The second option or third option, do you want to be ahead of time?
Of course.
Of course, how and why?
Thinking ahead.
Let me see you. How and why?
I would disagree slightly that we want to be ahead of time. Okay, we want to exist in the time that we exist so that we can provide solutions that are adapted to the time of today. Okay, in such a way that they create the new flow. So linking to your previous question. I think if you look at Facebook, you look at Google, you look at Apple, you look at all these companies, what they do is they think outside the box to create a new flow. And they can only create that new box by thinking of what's needed today to create the future.
Very good. Thank you. Answer very good. Yes?
At the same time,
because I can't see, I can't hear, I can't talk, I can't think. I can't do anything.
خلاص أسلام كله.
أنت عربي؟
عربي نعم.
منين؟
من
ليبيا.
ليبيا. نعم.
دي منين دي؟ دي من مصر، ما من هنا. تفضل.
The people who are ahead of, for example, you were mentioning great businesses. A lot of great businessmen are able to see 10, 15 years from now what's going to be important. Even Steve Jobs, since we're talking about these big companies, the way he used to think was, 10 years from now, what are people going to be doing? we work now, of course. We have to always work now. There's no question about that. But we can't constantly be now, you know, and then 5 years later, we're going to be 5 years behind everyone else. So there has to be a balance, I suppose, between the two, where you think ahead, you're further away from everyone else, but at the same time, you're tackling the challenges of now as well.
Thank you. Sisters? Brother, yes?
To back up the point of Marwan, to challenge the Anwar, to be ahead of time, to be ahead of time doesn't necessarily mean that you're not living in today's day and age. Because there are two types of goals. You have short-term goals, which are in the next 6 months, and then you have long-term goals, which are more 5 years, 10 years. This example you gave, for example, Steve Jobs, when he first came out with the iPhone, it was in 2007. The first ever phone to not have a single button. And look, 10 years ahead, it's absolutely unheard of to have a phone with a button. So it's, being 10 years ahead or being ahead of time doesn't necessarily mean that you're not in today's day and age, because you're still thinking about today's day and age, but you're trying to think about what's going to be, you're predicting what's going to be the next trend, what's going to be the trend after that, and eventually what people are going to be doing after that. So it's, what you're saying is it's not exclusive. You can be ahead of time, say something with today.
See, can you see me now? I'm just trying to act on the two answers. I'm holding a very heavy thing in my hand because this is a problem. This is the current problem, and moving to this place because I know that there's a problem now existing in my society, but I'm getting my community with me, getting them to move to this area, is what Stephen Jobs did. Who is Stephen Jobs? No. Can somebody answer me and tell me his life story from the lady's side? Anybody else? Well, she spoke quite a few times. Let's give a chance to somebody else. You know his job, his life? Yeah. Go on, stand up. You know him? You know how he was living with his father, his mother, and
well, according to the he was a refugee.
He was a refugee, is that right?
That's Tim Cook.
Okay, anybody else know? Sorry? Brothers, I love you. Love me, please. Stand up, please, and tell us his story.
Oh, I just know his parents were Syrian refugees.
His parents were Syrian immigrants because to America, is that right?
No, that's only one of
His
them.
original parents.
Original parents, stand up, please.
His original parents, but
Is your voice? I can't hear you.
The adopted them. They weren't refugees.
So, original parents were actually from Syria or from Lebanon.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was adopted
Yeah.
as an orphan. Why? Social
They
life.
gave him up, I think, because they couldn't family.
Yeah, something like that. He was brought up as an orphan or adopted orphan. But he came, or he became what he was to create all this big achievement in his life.
And also, like, well, also like that he didn't do well in his education. So
He didn't do well in his education,
Yeah, but he didn't give up.
but he didn't give up. Very good. So, three points in his life. 10 minutes, okay. All right. All right. Now, let's go. I'm focusing on this. Why? Because social life was difficult, which actually being an adopted child, after something with his original parents, none of them put him off from meeting the challenge to make the change. And was he able to make the change? Yes, he was. By the standard of the Muslims and the Arabs and the world. Okay? I'll move faster. The second challenge is, are we able to stop this speed of life, to direct the life, or to change the direction and correct it? What's our ability now? Can we either stop or direct or reform? You answer some of this in your answers before. Because I'm talking about role. All this talks about role, my role. Okay? You have answered quite a few of them by saying yes, have to be ahead of time. And you mentioned some examples of the people who were pioneers and managed to change the course of life. You mentioned one of them. If you take another example like Muhammad Ali. Everybody knows Muhammad Ali. He stood for his belief, did what he can, and he became this kind of global figure, and became a hero for humanity. Think about Nelson Mandela. Huh? Another one. Okay? And sorry, anybody else?
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. So when you look at all these great people, Ali Izetbegovic in Bosnia. Okay? And a lot. Mahatma Gandhi. He managed to change the course of life for his nation. You see, and so on, and so on, and so on. So, if you can change the course of life, okay, that's the role that you need to play. Let me ask the how many minutes now? 5. Okay. There was a question about who are we? Are we energy, power, movement, or what? We are as young people. How can you define yourself? Energy, power, movement, or what? Energy. Continuous or temporary? It depends. Energy. Power, movement.
I think with movement it encompasses energy and power. You're stronger in numbers. So as long as you have energy and movement, you have that power.
Very good. So energy, movement, and power. We are energy, and we are powerful movement. Because we are the young. Because we are the people who would love to make the future and save our community and our humanity. I have, because I have 3 minutes to go or 4 minutes to go, I asked you about am I one of the people who are having the what do you call it? Right loop, okay, left loop, or he has no loop. See, that's why he's happy. Because he's not living with this, he's banana. Banana. Okay. You got it now? Alhamdulillah. Yes. Tell me why I'm right loop, or why I'm left loop, or why I'm not. Somebody tell me that I have no loops. Explain.
Define what right and left loop.
No, you tell them. You don't know. Yeah. What is the function of the right and the left? Yes, can you stand up, please? Come next to me. Come next to me. No, not Come on. She will explain to us. What do I mean, or what does she mean by right loop and left loop? Okay? Then you diagnose my sickness, because I'm a sick man.
I'm pretty sure, if I take a guess, that it's
Raise your voice, because I can't hear you.
hemisphere.
The right hemisphere
is it? I think it's logic and like intelligence, and the left is artistic and creativity.
Opposite.
Other way. The other way. Yeah.
So the right one is creativity and creativity.
Right. Yeah. Left side is creativity and like innovation.
Right one.
No.
The left
side. The left hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you say?
Right?
The right one is
like creativity, innovation,
Yeah.
and the right side is logic, reasoning, intelligence.
Okay, do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yes?
It's the other way around.
The other way around. Can you stand up, please?
So a lot of things like myths, like we use 10% of our brain, and people who are more left-sided than the right-sided are, you know, myths that change with time. But maybe people are more focused on being right-lobed, which is artistic, creative, or out of the box, whereas left is more rational, logical, scientific, mathematical.
It's the other way around. Okay. Fine. Now you know the diagnosis, or the one who does not have any loops. What you describe them? Okay. Huh? Okay. Tell them.
Absent-minded, lacking, focus.
Usually the majority.
Now you answer. Now you answer. Am I right loop man, left loop man, or no loop man?
Both.
You can't be both. You can be a male and female at the same time. You got it? Come on, don't be shy. Yes, sister.
I think you demonstrate both sides.
Is it?
Yeah. Based on the fact that you appear to be quite creative and think, you know, laterally.
Maybe I'm fooling you.
Maybe. But I noticed you're also right-handed.
How do you know?
Right? Because I saw you scribbling on your thing. Yeah,
I'm
you're right-handed. And
because he's an Arab. He's Arab.
So, with that being said, the creative side is more right-sided, but you're right-handed, which means that actually your left lobe is dominant. So I didn't even remember placing it. So yeah. But anyway, so you have like both sides like active, I think, and often you could have potentially been a left-handed writer. But sometimes I've noticed, I don't know if it's true, I'm just like coming up with stuff here. But I tend to force their kids to write with the right hand because it's better, right? Because the left hand is like, so you write with your right hand as a child, so essentially it's less right side dominant.
Okay, thank you. Anybody challenge her answer? Because I've got 2 minutes to go. Yes.
I think from my observation today, if I hadn't met you before, I would say you're more of a creative guy because you're asking questions that are quite out of the box, that not a general question would ask. So I would say you're right-handed, right?
So I don't have left.
You have one, I think yes, you have one.
Thank you.
I agree. I think you're more right than left. It's not per se the concepts that you describe because they're quite philosophical, but more the language they use. Speed of life, very metaphorical, like poetic. So I think more right than left.
Sister first, then you.
Your logical side is probably dominant, but I'm sure there's still some creativity in you, and that's probably. Like
So she's saying I'm left loop.
Because you must have had some creativity to create such an amazing foundation.
Okay. Okay, thank you. You are the sister after that.
I think for the same.
You have to speak to the people.
I think same reason as someone, you demonstrate both sides very well. I mean, just judging Kurgan today, because even though you're asking creative questions, you're moderating everything very well. You're making sure that the answers that were said were the ones that you wanted to make sure that, which either shows that there is some sort of logic behind it, the rationale. For example, the way you excellently demonstrated when you were saying putting the weight and working towards a destination. It shows that you do have logic at the same time here, because you're using right hand. It shows that you do, as in your left hand side of your brain is kind of controlling your body, your movements. So I'd say you demonstrate both quite well.
I think you do demonstrate both, but maybe, like, I think dominant creativity also have logic, but you have to think about, obviously they're both active, but you have to utilize both anyway. So it's like you could be as creative as you want, but if you're not doing anything with it, it doesn't really matter. So it's realizing your capabilities in both and then finding your strengths, harnessing both of them and using them to together to get to where you need to go.
Okay, thank you. So I used to be a medical doctor, but I never realized, and even my thesis was on the brain, central nervous system, but I was not so intelligent enough like you to analyze the right function, and the right loop function and the left loop function. And I thank you for guiding me and for encouraging me, motivating me. And now we can give the microphone to this microphone.
Okay. Thank you very much. We do have a couple of minutes, inshallah, until we move on to Abdul Rahman's session. So if anyone has any questions they'd like to ask Dr. Hany in this wonderful opportunity, please do shout them out now. Please put your hand up, stand up, do the usual that we've been doing the past hour. Any questions? Yes.
So how do I find out if I have my right lobe or left lobe no longer?
The physicist. Physicist. I'm like you. I was shocked when a medical doctor in Gaziantep, Turkey, was telling me that you are a right lobe. I said, what? I didn't know what right lobe was or left lobe was, but she said I'm right lobe, and they put her in my WhatsApp group as a right lobe sister. Don't tell her how she finds.
I think if you go online, you can sort of get, you can kind of get general guidelines as to which, what sort of personalities you exhibit or what you tend to prefer, but it's all a label because you use both anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. I guess you can identify which is more dominant so that you can cater the things that you do in your life and the way you learn and such and so forth, cater to what your preference is. But
so why is it important to know which one dominates?
Very good question. Why? Why should we know that you are a right loop or left loop? Why? Because maybe that you want to use some creative people to do certain jobs. Or some reasoning people who do the other jobs. So you have several servants, which most of them should be reasoning. And you have leaders, which you need to find amongst them the most creative, who will be able to make the change. But without the reasoning of the left loop, which is the several servants, leader cannot function by himself alone, or herself alone.
My question is actually about it. I just wanted to ask, from your illustrious career over the many years of being active, who would you say has been the most, granted the most impact in your decision making and life and going through?
This is another talk. But I can give you two or three characters, apart from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, apart from all the great things. This is actually untouchable. It's my mother, because when I was young, she was telling me two things. Don't look up, because if you look up like this, you have headache. It means that if you look up to the people better than yourself, you'll have headache, and you'll be upset. Mix with poor people to be happy. This was her reminder. The second one was my wife, because she was and is my backbone 24/7. So you have to marry somebody like my wife. There are a lot of them here in the room. But some of us are blinded, or blindfolded, or got short-sighted. That would be one of them. This is my wife. Okay. The third one is my father, because he showed his credibility. He was a professor of Islamic law in Azhar. His integrity, and even he was working till the age of 70 to support his family. Apart from this, there's a lot of really good in society. But those are the people. Actually, you want the microphone again?
Yes, please. Jazakallah khair, Dr. Hany. I think that's all the questions that we'll be taking. Should we take a couple of minutes break, or should we just go straight into your workshop? It's up to you. How's everyone?